right, welcome back to episode 280 of the Guy and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, and responsible Christian gun owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about our 233rd Constitution Day. 233, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Well, thank Oath Keepers TV for putting our shows over there. All the different platforms, Strike TV, and we want to thank the Farms Radio Network for hosting all of your podcasts for your downloading pleasure. And if you've not checked out other shows on the Farms Radio Network, please do. Also, you can check out Oath Keepers TV. He's got other channels, shows besides ours. And you also want to thank
Crossbreed Holsters. Hey, if you're carrying a gun, you got one next to your bed in your truck, or your wife carries one in her pocketbook, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. Go check them out at crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross. Also, PowerTac lights. Hey, if you're looking for a bright light, they are running some good specials right now. My son-in-law just picked up 2 of the headlamps. They're running them 50% off, so it made them $79. So go check our buddies out at PowerTac.com and get a light. And don't forget to use our promo code God and Guns and get 40% off, but it won't count if their discount's more. So just remember that.
Good deal. Well, what have you been up to last week, Doug? God and Gun activities.
Let's see. Last week we went to the Smoky Mountains, went up to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and run around hanging out with my brother some and his family.
You didn't get in trouble, did you?
No, not this time. Not this time. But we wanted to go up and spend a little time with them, so we were out running around. But I did get to go to the Great Smoky Mountain knife shop, knife something.
I know what you're talking about.
It's nice, man. They got some knives in there, and if you want to pay some bucks, they will hook you up.
Is that low on stock?
They are not low on stock, man. They were slam full. And let me tell you, if you live in that area and you're looking for ammo and you don't mind shooting wolf ammo, they had it, buddy. They were selling 500 rounds of AR for $179 for 5.56, and they had pallets of it all over the whole store. So there was a
connection in Russia somewhere, huh?
I guess they had 9mm 223, and did they have 45? I want to say they had 45 maybe, but a lot of AR stuff. So if you like shooting that stuff, go check them out. They got plenty of it if you live in that area. Let's see what else. I got to go to Bud's gun shop too. First time I'd ever been in a Bud's, and I've always been online looking through their stuff and checking it out. And I saw the sign down there by the knife place. I was like, oh man, we got to go. So we went in. It's a very nice store. They got an indoor range. You can check out guns and rent guns and shoot all kind of stuff. But I was expected to have a lot more stuff in there than what they did. They I don't know if it was a new store or they just moved and
just sold everything, man. They sold everything out.
I know. They didn't have a lot of stuff on the floor, but I mean, it was nice place and nice folks. So I got to say that I'd actually been in a Bud's gun shop now. So
I think it's the one that Hickok goes to all the time down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, Bud sponsors him, so they're the ones that send him all the neat guns and stuff. But I was looking for I was at the knife place, and I was looking for an out the front knife, and I'd found one down here at Clyde's, one of the places I shop down here a lot and buy stuff. And they got a company out of Oklahoma called Spartan Auto Knives, and I'd looked at it before, and I was like, I don't know if I want to spend that on one of them, until I got up there to the knife shop and saw that Microtex and other stuff ranged anywhere from $280 up to $470. I was like, So I got back here. I went down. I called down, and they're like, "Yep, we got some. We just got a new batch in stock, actually." So I went down there and picked one up. So that is her right there. So I went down and picked up one, and it's got the Damascus steel. I don't know if you guys can see.
Let me make you a little bit bigger. Give me a second here.
Yeah, make me bigger, Troy. Make me. There it is. But it's got the Damascus steel blade on it, and it's pretty nice. It's got a pocket clip, and it's also got a glass breaker on the end of it, and it works very good. I think I paid $109 for it, so pretty good deal. So if you're looking for a decent knife, they got, I think it's a lifetime warranty on the mechanics and everything in it. So I mean,
Cool.
you can't go too wrong with it. So it's a nice little knife. So what else did I do? Oh, hey, I went to Academy yesterday because I had one of my Spy Point cameras bit the dust, and it was taking pictures. It just would not transmit nothing. And I bought this one at Academy. And I don't know if most of you guys know it or not, but Academy has a no questions asked return policy. And I took it in and set it up on the counter. And I told them, I said, hey, it's taking pictures, but it will not transmit. So it doesn't do me a whole lot of good. And the girl's like, well, let's go back to the back and get you another one.
Cool.
Roger went back there and got it. When I come back to the counter to do the papers, to return the other one and get the new one, I looked up and they had AR ammo sitting at the customer service desk. And I was like, ooh. I said, how much is it? And they're like, it was 90 rounds in a box for $38. And I didn't realize at the time that it was already stripper clipped. So it wasn't loose. So I said, how many can I get? She's like, 3. So I got my 3. We went on down and got some lunch. And one of the guys from work was with me. And I'm like, you go get some of that ammo? He's like, nah, I don't really need it. I said, well, I do. I said, go back and buy it and I'll pay you for it. And we went back down. He picked up 3 more boxes.
Is that straw ammo purchasing going on there?
No. He just wasn't going to be able to use it.
Yeah. He just didn't know he was going to be able to use it.
Yeah. You never let a good ammo option go to waste. But I think it wound up being 42 cents a round for it. So that's the cheapest I've seen in a long time. They had 150 rounds in a little box, but it was 62 grain. And I wanted the 5.56. So, but it was $74 for 150 rounds. So not horrible bad.
Right now, it's not. I mean,
no,
you got to pay what you got to pay right now.
Right. If you want some ammo, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got a knife, got some ammo, got to hang out up in Tennessee a little bit. And I texted our buddy Steve up there. I was like, hey, I'm in your neck of the woods. And he was out camping. So it was a good time. We had a good trip. Got to spend time with little brother. So,
yep.
So what you been up to?
I have to look at my notes to see what I was up to. Let's see. Daily Bible reading. We finished up episode 100 this week of the prayer and fasting, and I've taken off the rest of the week. I did Monday's show. That was number 100. That ended week 21 in a row, pretty much. I think I took off 1 day, 1 or 2 days throughout the whole thing, and that's why I ended up on another week. And then was teaching the girls to shoot yesterday. Daphne's got a little Beretta Tomcat, and then I wanted her to have a little bit more gun, so I gave her a Glock 26. And she's been carrying that for a while. And I said, it's point and shoot. She knows how to shoot pistols. I've taught her how to shoot since she was a lot younger and stuff. But, just defensive pistols are a little bit different. So I spent some time with her going over it. She put them all in the kill zone. And so I was comfortable with that. I had her shoot, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 mags, something like that. And she was putting them all in the heart stoppers. So nice. Heart stoppers and brain stoppers and eyeballs and all that stuff. So I said, good to go, and put in premium ammo back in the pistol. And I picked her up. I thought she'd like a colorful holster, so I picked her up a Eclipse holster. You remember her friend Jessica Hazler at Eclipse holster? She's been on the show before. Picked her up a purple carbon print holster. It's really flashy and girly, and so picked up one of those for the 26, so you can carry appendix. And she seems to like it. she's not like none of the girls now wear belts. I don't know. It's just that they all wear those little stretchy pants. Now I know they make another clip for it. That's like a compression clip or something clamps onto the clothing, but I don't know. I think she needs a belt. It's a little bit of a heavy gun to not have a it's 11 rounds in a Glock form, double stack. Uh, so it might be a little heavy for the kind of clothing she wears to work and stuff. So I don't know. We might have to find her a thinner one. Krista, she got out and shot her. She's got a Smith and Wesson Shield, and she pulled out and shot 9 rounds, and all of them were in the eye box or in the chest and the kill box, the pump in the lungs kind of area. And she said, "That's good enough. I don't need no more." And she walked away. She just refreshed herself there. Uh, yeah. Well, I need suspenders. I know, Steve. You told me that last time I talked to you. I happened to be over in Devore yesterday, and they have Grey Ghost suspenders on sale. And I was thinking of you that you told me you needed suspenders, and I needed suspenders. I'm like, I can still hold my belt up right now. I lost enough of my belly over this fasting this last 21 weeks that I can hold the belt up pretty good at this point. But yeah, my dad told me if I find some suspenders, he's wanting some. You get to that age, your butt gets smaller than your belly, and things go south.
Yeah.
So, for you people at home that aren't watching and listening to this on a podcast, one of our listeners, our friend Steve, commented that he needs suspenders with his belt. And so I was commenting to that. You guys, half the time, probably don't know what we're talking about. So, on the gun side, I did more reloading and did some more. I straightened up my ammo cans. I'm not going to say how many ammo cans I've got, but I've got about 16 square yards of area dedicated to ammo cans and powder and bullets and primers and brass, all secured away in ammo cans. So I've been making lots of bullets the last 6 months because you couldn't do a whole lot of anything else. What else have we been doing here? Let's see. On the gun side, taught Audrey was teaching her how to shoot pistol. She's been shooting rifle. She's a dead eye with a rifle. She's a dead eye with a pistol. She's just a natural athlete. I don't know, some kids are just naturally are gifted at anything athletic, and that's how she is. She's a great basketball shooter. She's a great volleyball player. She's great pretty much any sport she takes on. She's just got a natural gift, good eye-hand coordination, and she's just dead on shooting with a pistol. So my girls are pretty squared away. If they encounter something with a pistol, that I wouldn't want to be on the other end of it. So they're squared away on that end. That's pretty much my guide and gun stuff. EDC, I'm packing the Glock 30S as usual. I got the bunker buster over here. Got it stripped down. I was going to shoot yesterday, and something was wrong with the bolt. I took the bolt carrier group apart, and there's some pieces missing. I don't know how that happened, but I put a brand new bolt carrier group into it, and I'm ordering some parts for the bolt carrier that I don't know if it exploded or parts just, I don't know what happened. There's like a couple of the firing pins missing out of it, and
What?
yeah, I don't know what happened. So it was a high end bolt that I had got. It was came in as assembly. I dropped it in there. I don't remember stripping it out other than just to touch up some oil. So I'm a little confused about how that happened. It's like someone took my gun apart, took the bolt carrier apart, and then put like 2/3 of the parts back into it and stuck it back in the gun. And I'm thinking I didn't do that in my sleep. So it was the little bunker gun, the one that I keep around down here in the basement. And so put a brand new bolt carrier in it, lubed it up, cleaned it up, and gonna go out and shoot it again. Well, right tomorrow. Been running been working around the farm, running the Bobcat, moving a lot of dirt from my mom up at her new house in Elizabethtown. She had like 22 dump truck loads of dirt dumped on the yard, and I've been making her a backyard with it and filling in a lot of holes over the years that had occurred since the house was built. And then worked around here at the farm with it. Took out some stumps with the grabber and the dozer and then cleaned up a bunch of brush piles and hauled off a bunch of stuff. And there's always something to do around. Yeah, gremlins. That's what I thought. Same thing with the Bobcat, man. Every time I use that thing, there's something springs a leak on, or something eats all. It's every tractor, every Bobcat, every piece of equipment you ever use on a farm or for any line of work. It seems like you got to fix it every day you use it, and you got to buy
fix it before you can use it.
yeah, oil or batteries or bearings or something's always seals are going out on these things. But I've been working on that stuff. Banging myself around inside that little Bobcat, man. That thing. Whew. I'm working on a hill that's sort of like this, and I'm moving like piles of dirt that are like 10 feet tall and a long ways, like 300 yards of dirt. I'm making pads, and so I'm going in, dropping the dirt. I'm driving on top of it and pressing it down. And I tell you what, man, it jars you pretty good. The older you get, the less you like to be thrown around.
I bet.
Yeah, that's pretty much it from the guiding guns and the carry stuff. What you got?
Of course, I got the Glock 19 with the student of the gun sights on it, and I was talking to one of our listeners the other day that had put them on his gun, and he was talking about how he liked them now. So if you like those, go check them out. Professor Paul would be proud if you got a pair, and I got that, and of course the new auto knife,
Woo-hoo.
which I like. I like it a lot. It's got the safety on it too. I looked at some of the cheaper ones, and they didn't have the safety. So if you hit the button, it was coming, regardless. So this one's got the safety on it where if it hits something on the way out, it disengages the spring so it doesn't, slam through your leg.
Yeah, it would be bad. I've got a Ratworks knife that opened up in my pocket one time. I don't know how it happened, but luckily the pants I was wearing was pretty premium stuff, and it actually didn't cut through them. It wasn't a double edged. It was a fold-out folder. What do you call it? It swung out. A folder auto knife, but that would have been bad if I hadn't noticed it. I mean, it's such a heavy spring on that thing. I felt it when it went off, and I guess it just didn't close all the way back up good when I closed it back up. But out the front knives, though, I don't think they're prone to shoot out without. It takes quite a bit of pressure, at least on my Microtech. I mean, I know on this one, it takes quite a bit of thumb pressure when you push that out. It's not going to accidentally, it's probably 20 pounds of pressure on it. But it's got good serration on it. I like the Microtechs. I like they're nice and small, and they fit in these pants I wear. These cargo. They got like a little slot that you can put a flashlight in on each side, and then I put the Microtech on one side, and I put the Surefire on the other. It works out really good.
This one came with a little holster for it. It's got a clip on it to keep it locked in.
Yeah.
And it's got a piece on the back where you can hook it up to put it on a vest or a plate carrier or whatever you want to put it on to carry it around in case you lean over something, you don't drop it and lose it. I'd hate to lose it.
Comments are going wild over here. Yeah. Gunner lost his. He went walking like last time we mowed, cut the alfalfa, and I didn't cut the alfalfa. Brad cut the alfalfa, but last time the alfalfa was cut, Gunner and Audrey walked over to the creek through the alfalfa field. They come back and he said, "I don't have a knife. I can't find it anywhere." And I'd bought him a Benchmade for Christmas like year before last, and he's kept that thing on him every day. And it's drove him crazy. He's looked everywhere and everywhere for it. Couldn't find it, couldn't find it. I said, well, next time they cut the alfalfa, you probably have an easier time finding it. Just walk through the field, if it's out there in that field. And last night we was getting ready to shoot. He walked over there. They just cut the alfalfa. Hadn't even got it up yet. It's laying on the ground. He walked over right at the edge of the field, and there's his knife laying there. It's like, boy, you're lucky.
Lucky man.
He found it. Of course, it had a little bit of had dirt and stuff in it for been laying out there for a month, And so he come in here in my workshop, took it apart and cleaned all the insides out and oiled it, and had a little bit of surface rust on the clip and on up around the blade around the where the pin goes through. And I said, just take some steel wool and some of that what kind of oil I got? I got some kind of good cleaner oil. I just told him to spray it down, let it soak for a little bit, take some of that steel wool, go around and hit that rust with it. It probably won't scratch you. And it come right off. He says, it's too loose. And I said, you got to tighten it down. He tightened it. That's too tight. I said, well, just keep working. It'll get loosened up. Just keep some oil in it. Keep working. It'll work out.
Loosen it up again.
Yeah. Well, I guess people don't really care about that stuff. All right. So, do you have any feedback?
I did not.
All right. Well, we've got, let's see, we've got comedy jokes. What you got there for us?
We do. So I got this one. A poorly paid local pastor grew watermelons to supplement his income. He was doing pretty well, but it was disturbing. He was disturbed by some local kids who would sneak into the watermelon patch at night and eat the watermelons. After some careful thought, he came up with a clever idea that he thought would keep the kids away for sure. He made up a sign and posted it in the field. The next day, the kids showed up and they saw the sign, which read, "Warning, one of the watermelons in the field has been injected with cyanide." The kids ran off and made their own sign and posted it next to the pastor's sign. When the pastor returned, he surveyed the field and noticed that no watermelons were missing, but the sign next to his read, "Now there are two." Got him back.
Yikes. All right. Bible verses tonight. We're going to be in, I'm going to click this where I can see it. Deuteronomy 6. I'm going Old Testament again on you guys. This verse has no title right above it here. Let's see what it says. The greatest commandment. But we're focusing on verses 5 down to 9. So Deuteronomy 6, 5 through 9. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words I command you today shall be on your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. So, how seriously does God want you to know his word? He wants you to know his word so that you don't keep getting yourself in trouble. He wants you to know the word so when you recognize, when you are doing something that goes against what God's word is, you'll say, hey, wait a second, I remember reading somewhere about not doing that. All right? And what brings this to my mind this week is my kids are always bringing back verses I've taught them, and always bringing back things that I've taught them over the years. I know your kids are probably the same way. You who have children and grandchildren, if you've taught them Bible verses, you taught them how to live rightly. And when they start reminding you of those things, whenever you're starting to slip and stuff, and you start to say something, well, the Bible says you ain't supposed to.
You shouldn't do that.
You know you've done the good job, parents, when your kids are using Bible verses on you, right? So it's important that we take seriously what God says, and God commands us that we should love him with everything we've got. If we do that, we will want to know all about him, right? Someone you love with everything that's within you, you want to know everything about the person. You want to know what makes them happy, right? You want to know what makes them sad. You want to know what makes them angry, right? Because you don't want to do the things that are going to make them angry. You want to do the things that make them love you more, right? You want to do the things that brings joy to them. You want to do the things that makes them proud of you, right? You don't want to do the things that are going to cause you to have relationship problems. So if you want to know how to love God, you need to read the Bible, because the Bible is chock full of examples of people who have failed God, right? Things that people have done that are wrong, that they have had to incur judgment for, things that people that have done that please God, right? So if my kids are annoying me, I'm a good parent, rolling on the floor laughing. Yeah, well, I didn't say that. I said if they're calling you out when you're doing things that go against Scripture, Dwayne, then you're doing a good job. That they're recognizing, right, that there is a right way to do things, the God's way, and there's a wrong way to do things, the world's way. And so it's important that we make sure that we know what God calls us to do, that we are being obedient to what His Word has called us to do, that we will foresee problems, because we don't have to experience every problem that everyone out there has had experience. If we're intelligent enough to read the Bible, we can see, oh man, I don't want to do what Samson needed to stay away from Delilah. He should have stayed at home. And so if you will take David's example of, standing up on rooftops, looking down in girls' windows and down their bathtubs, and say, man, I don't want to do that, because then I'll cause all kinds of problems for the kingdom, and it could lead to murder, right? Or Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, that married a bunch of women that was worshiping other gods, and what happened to him? He ended up just as bad off as his dad, right? He ended up ruining everything and becoming out of favor with God. Even though he was the wisest and most richest man, he fell for the gods of his hundreds of brides. Well, first of all, if you can put up with more than one woman in your life, you got problems anyway. So one woman is all I can deal with right now as a wife, and you got two daughters in the house, and I'm outnumbered. Even with Gunner, we're both outnumbered. But we get back to the truth of the matter here, the Scriptures. It's important that you know the Word of God. It's important that you know it for being able to be obedient to God, following what His commands are, having the knowledge of what God wants you to learn to keep you out of the pitfalls of the devil, being able to defend yourself with Scripture, being able to teach it to your children to keep them from having to suffer from the things that people you don't really have to suffer from, because they go the way of the world, right? And so as a parent who has children that have already left the nest, and some that are almost right in the middle of taking off, and other ones that are getting ready to start flapping their wings here soon, it's important that I know that my children know what God expects of them, and through Scripture. And $5, man, you're a heck of a man. You're just like Doug, man. You're right under the angels.
Bless you.
Bless you, Jason. I got two of each. I tell you, the girls are more scary to me than the boys, but the boys they're more strong-willed headed. I don't know. They're all different, but
I've got three, but
I worry more about the girls for some reason than I do the boys.
I got three girls, and I got them all in one time though. So
yeah,
Jason, I may have you trumped.
He had three triplets. I mean, triplets, girls at the same time.
Yep.
I mean, I think you walk on water, man. You and Wendy, I tell you. Well, so that was the Bible verses, just to encourage you guys to get in the Word, know what the Word is, apply it to your life, make it meaningful to your life. Find a way to put an application to it, and stay in it, and regularly. All right. So that was the Bible verses. Let's get those out of the way, because that's taking up a lot of the screen. All right. Well, our topic today is the 233rd. We go over this about every year. It's important.
It comes around once a year.
Once a year, it seems like that we have this anniversary of this Constitution Day. So why is the Constitution Day in September, Doug?
Why is it in September?
Yeah. Wasn't it signed in July? No.
It was signed September 17th, correct?
Yeah. So most people think, oh, no, it was signed in July 4th. And like, no, that was the Declaration of Independence.
Yes. Yes.
That was the Declaration of Independence. Constitution was in 1787, right? It was a long time after the Declaration of Independence because they had to fight that war. And then they had to, recover from the war. And then they had to fight England again. And then they had to fight England again. So just because they declared the independence and became a nation didn't mean we didn't have to keep fighting.
Right.
And that, is applicable today. We're still fighting for our independence from people who would like to make us all slaves. But that's a whole other topic. So the Constitution, what is it? I send my love. Okay. Right. They're over here commenting on the side. It's probably the Jazz G people listening on podcast, audio, podcast. Where am I at? I have totally lost my position and have no idea where I'm at. Oh, that's because my notes just got deleted.
Constitution.
The Constitution. So, how big is the Constitution, Doug?
What do you mean, how big is it?
How many words is in the Constitution?
Oh, you got me on that one.
I have one laying right here. I usually just pick it up and swing it around the camera all the time. I've got a pile of patches. Remind me in a minute to tell you guys about these patches. If I forget, because I forgot it last week. I have so many patches piled up here. I can't see half my desk. More patches. I don't know if any of you guys are into patches, but there's more patches. Okay. I don't see my Constitution. That's my Lyman load data. It's usually right there. I may have shipped it out. I don't know. Well, a Constitution is like really small and thin. This is not the Constitution, but it's about 2/3 the size of this thing. The whole Constitution takes you about 15 minutes to read the whole thing. It's written in like 3rd grade English language, so that every man that should be able to read it, anybody that grew up in the United States and went to school, should be able to read it, understand it. It's not complicated. It's written as plainly and clearly as can be written, so that the citizen would know what their rights are, what the limitations of the government are. And the trouble is that in 233 years, we've had politicians that have completely changed the meaning of the words to try to make the Constitution power over the people. The Constitution limits the power of the government, the federal government. And so it's an important document. When you swear to uphold and defend, what are you swearing to uphold and defend, Doug?
The Constitution.
Right. You're not defending the country. You're defending the Constitution, which defends the country.
That's right.
Jason. Great. Glad you got your patches in, man.
Hey, and Google is your friend. There are 4,400 words in the Constitution.
There you go. I am dry as a bone. Krista went and got some chicken wing things, and I ate them like right before we started the show. And I am dry. I'm dry as a bone. So that's why I keep drinking. There's no alcohol in there. That's just pure water, guys. All right. So 4,004 words, you said, the Constitution?
4,400.
4,400 words.
Yep.
So it's easy. You can memorize it if you want to. It's not that hard. I mean, if you got plenty of time, like Doug's got. But
right.
But it's simple. It's easy to understand. Read it and learn it. You can get it for free at a lot of places. You can. I think when I was at Monticello, I forget how to pronounce it, over there where Thomas Jefferson's house was. They have in the gift shop there. When I was in Virginia a couple years ago visiting Williamsburg, they have them there, and they're like this big. I probably got one right there over on the shelf. I probably got several. I keep giving them away to kids, my kids and my kids' friends and stuff. I said, you need to take this home and read it, and then you need to like keep it around and read it again. and you know, because it would let you know that if you don't fight for your right to be free, you'll become a slave. It's very important to realize that it's every person's responsibility to fight to keep their freedom. And if you don't rebel against these politicians who want to tell you what you have to do, what you can do, when you can do it, where you can do it, where you can go, what you can say, what you can't say, that is not the America I was born into. What the America Doug was born into.
Mm-mm.
Politicians don't have a right to tell you nothing, right? You have the freedom to speak. You have the freedom to defend yourself, protect yourself. You have the freedom to address problems that the government is doing. You don't have politicians don't have the right to tell you where you can go, what you can do, what you got to do. That you have to take some kind of shot made by some eugenicist that wants to inject some kind of RNA stuff into your body. You don't have to take that stuff. If you do take that stuff, no, I'll be praying for you. But I'm telling you, these people are not looking out for your good. They're not. When they start wanting to tell you what to do, what you can say, when you can go, whether you can worship, whether you can go to church, what you got to put over your face for a disease that kills less people than drunk driving, and for a disease that kills less people than the annual flu, for a disease that kills less people than doctors prescribing bad medicine, drugs that don't work together, for food poisoning. They have created this crisis to try to take your freedoms, people. I'm telling you, you better stand up. You better get straightened out on this thing because they're trying to take as much freedom every time you give them a chance. If every time that you're going to trade your freedom for security, you're getting a bad end of the deal. Who was
Yep.
it? Ben Franklin told us that. Ben Franklin told us that back, what, 235 years ago, 240 years ago?
At least.
Whoever's willing to trade their freedoms for security go get neither, right? You're going to be under some tyrant's boot and you're going to be told what to do. And they're going to tell you what you get to keep and what they're going to take from you. You don't let them do that. All right. What is it called? Codependency, where were you willing to give in to all right, I got Mario back. Can y'all hear me now? I don't know what happened there. Anybody hear me? Doug disappeared. Doug's back. All right, can you hear me, Doug?
I got you. I thought it was my mic or something, or my headset was out.
Can anybody else hear me? Because Jeremy Nolan says he can't hear me.
I got you now.
Can't hear you.
You're good
Wait,
now.
you can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody can hear me. Okay, so we're back. See, they're messing with my computer, trying to get me off topic. Let me get back on my soapbox. So the situation is that people that trick you into thinking that you need to pay your fair share, the rich people need to pay their fair share. That's a lie because the people who pay the taxes are the people who buy the products or the services, right? When they raise the taxes on the rich, they're raising taxes on you. When they lower taxes, more money comes in. It's a proven thing. You can go read any kind of a known economist, and they will tell you the more you tax something, the less you get of it. So when you tax production, when you tax things that are making money, you get less people working harder to make money. The more you tax, the less revenue you get in. The less you tax, like Trump did when he came in, he got rid of a bunch of regulations and taxes. And when he did that, the economy started steamrolling, started going again. It's like putting the brakes on. The more taxes you add, it's just like putting a bigger brake on. The more tax, the more brake. Until you get to be like a communist country, ain't nobody working because ain't no benefit in it. Because the more you tax something, the slower it's going to go. Because you got to have people pulling all that weight of the taxes. You take the tax burdens off, and the people go wild with production, start making more money. They have an incentive to go out there and work hard and invest in stuff because they can reap returns on it. But if you got the government sucking all the money off of it, it's bad enough that they're printing money. Well, that's a whole nother matter. The Jekyll, the Monster of Jekyll Island is a good book you can go back and read. It talks about how the global bankers, the bankers from the City of London, which is another thing you need to find out about, who's the City of London. So those guys got together and they said, "Hey, we're going to print money and we're going to loan it to, and we're going to become the Fed, right? We're going to become the Fed." Sounds like the printing presses, right? The Fed controls the monetary supply of America's dollar, and so back in the late 20s, when we had that Great Depression, we had this president named Roosevelt. He was in there 4 terms and stacked the Supreme Court and took everybody's gold and made it illegal for people to own gold. That communist guy, he allowed these bankers to go together and create the Fed. And so the Fed is not a government organization. It should be. It's not. And so what happened is, in order to borrow money and things like that, a certain interest rate had to be given. And so the Fed prints the money, releases the money to America to be able to pay its debts, to give money to the people, right, in exchange for goods and services, right? So what happens is they keep printing more money than there is a supply of gold for until 1973, when Dunderhead Nixon took us off the gold standard and put us on the petrodollar. And when they did that, we have fiat currency. And so there's nobody at the wheel except for a bunch of bankers that decide how much money they're going to steal from us, because every time they release more money into the market, the money that you have becomes less valuable. It's another form of taxation. So since Doug and I started working in 1980s, early 80s, Doug was milking cows and I was selling sweet corn and pigs and beef calves and working in tobacco fields and throwing a little hay. When we started working in the late 70s, early 80s, around the farms and stuff, we were getting paid $1, $2 an hour. To get that same kind of labor now, you won't have no boy show up to the farm unless you're paying him $12 an hour or more, because he can make $15 at McDonald's. Well, what's changed? Well, the dollar's value has went down 15 to, somewhere between 10 and 15 times in the last 35, 40 years, right? So our value of our currency is lesser. That's why you could buy a brand new 357 Magnum pistol, a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum Combat Magnum. When I was, 1970, I bought it in 1978. It was brand new. I paid $192 for it. Same gun now would cost you close to $1,000
or more.
Or more. I mean, this was a blued Combat Magnum, 1978, $192. Buy it with my pig money. Nowadays, I mean, that same gun, like Doug said, probably $1,000 or more for that same quality of gun. That was a great gun. What happened? Well, they kept printing money. And so if you had $10,000 back then, your $10,000 will be worth around $1,000 now. If you had $100,000 in the bank, it would be worth, $10,000. Where'd the rest of that money go? Well, they printed it away. They traded your value, your money, your labor away. At the same time, they raised taxes on your property. So every year you're paying, like in my case, I'm paying like $3,500 a year in property taxes. $3,500 a year. And you're like, I own it. Why am I paying all this tax on it? Because they're taking it back from you. They're stealing back your wealth from you. They're taking your money away. They're taking the value of your property away. So by the time you die, all that hard work has had to be paid for like 3 or 4 times over. Your car gets taxed. You pay tax when you buy it, full price tax, and every year you pay tax for it again. You pay tax on your gas. Depending on which state you're in, it could be $1.50 a gallon. It could be 70 cents a gallon. I think Kentucky's around 70 cents a gallon, 65 to 70 cents a gallon is tax. You're paying tax on your cell phone. You're paying so our government's out of control. We can all recognize that, right? And there are things, firewalls built into our Constitution that prohibit the government from doing things. They're not paying attention to it. Why? Because most people don't know what's in the Constitution.
Right.
If they did, they wouldn't be putting up with this garbage. And that's why every once in a while, me and Doug get up here in our soapbox and we start rattling around. But it's time for people to wake up. I mean, we're all good people. We all pay our taxes. We all obey the laws and all this stuff. But it's becoming onerous. And I live in a state that's pretty conservative until we elected another Democratic governor. But I live in a state that's pretty conservative as far as the tax policy goes. But he's wanting to raise taxes. He's already looking around to see what funds he can raid, just like his daddy raided the teachers' pension funds. And the teachers elected his son to come in and help him.
Keep right on doing it.
That's why I took my kids out of public school. Because if the teachers can't figure out who was that stole the money out of their teacher's account, then they're not paying attention. All right.
What the kicker is, you homeschool your kids, and I bet you still pay school taxes in your county.
Yeah, I don't get no deduction. I pay library tax, even though my kids don't use. Well, they use library from time to time, but not enough for what I'm paying for it. They just built a brand new multi-million-dollar library after they built 4 multi-million-dollar schools in a county that doesn't have nothing but farmers and teachers. Pretty much, there's no industry in the town. There's very little tourism, but we've raised all the taxes on all the property owners of the county to cover all these brand new multi-million-dollar schools that we didn't need, and multi-million-dollar library that I never saw by like 10 people at the last one. It's a wash with just, I don't know. It's a sad situation because they're just spinning us into servitude because we're all being spent into this mire of trillions of dollars of debt, and our kids and our grandkids are going to inherit this or are inheriting this debt load. And who is it owed to? Well, global bankers who are in control of our Fed, and to they can't print enough money, so they're borrowing money from other countries, and they're spending it on. This week they have ads out that they're giving away free food at the college and free stuff. It's a government program. What the heck? Free stuff. Free stuff. I mean, free clothing, free rent, vouchers for food, and what the heck, people? I mean, it's not like we're not already up over our eyeballs in debt. Charity belongs to the church and to the family. It doesn't belong to government. There's no provision for charity in the Constitution. They tried to take that clause for the general welfare, and then so they started calling handouts welfare. No, welfare is looking out for the rights of the citizen. The general welfare, you're looking out for the citizens' rights. You're not giving away something. See, the government they changed the name of buying votes to welfare
Right.
because it's under welfare clause. Well, the welfare clause is looking out for that everyone is treated fairly under the law, and that you don't steal from one person and give to another. You've perverted the whole meaning of welfare. Charity belongs to the church. That's why the church has lost its influence in America. That's why it's not paid any attention to anymore. Because if you were destitute, you went to the church for help. You went to the church or godly people to help you out, and you went to your family members. But now you go to a godless church that allows you to continue on your debauchery and sin, destroying your life even further, and you put everyone else on the hook for your destructive desires, your destructive lifestyle. I'm not showing much compassion tonight.
No, I
I
agree
love
with you.
my neighbors, I really do, but you don't help them by continuing to help them continue on their downward spiral into oblivion. Doug and I both have had to experience tough love as a parent. It's not easy, but there's a lot of people out there. Probably about 35% of the American population right now need some tough love. They need to grow up. They need to get responsible for their lives, and they need to quit living off of everybody else's hard work and effort and
Hmm.
and credit cards at this point, and debt that's being piled up on top of everybody. It just amazes me the number of people that want to give up their freedom for slavery. It's just amazing. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it's just like they're talking about wanting to send all these billions of dollars to these few states that still have everything shut down, won't let their people work, and their governments are bankrupt. But it's not because of COVID; it's because they were already running their states into the ground.
Yeah.
But they want us to give them money to bail them out.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Clive Piven, baby. Overload the government system of welfare and all these programs to the point that they become unsustainable and collapse under their own weight. That is the goal of the Democrats, is to try to destroy our country by covering us up in so much debt that they can come in and say, oh, we need to rewrite the Constitution, or we need to take these things out of the Constitution, give the government more power. The government's got too much power, and it's a problem already.
Yeah.
And you got too many communists in places in power that don't need to be there. And Lord, take them out. Take them out of those positions. So while we're talking about something, let's just go ahead and switch subjects. So I got a pile of patches.
Pow.
A pile of patches. I mean, piles of patches here from Carolina Holster Company. Where is the Wayne patch at? Did I drop it? It was right here, Doug. I just saw it. Where did it go? I know it's around here somewhere. It's one of them days, Doug. It's been one of them days, like most of the day.
I concur 100%.
And where you at? Well, so we got this patch here. You can't see it because it's got colors. Let's see if I got one that don't have colors. This one's green, so you can't see it. All right. Armor of God. It's got like a Spartan guy with a couple swords. Oh, here it is.
Hey,
You
that's
get all
cool.
these patches at CarolinaHolsters.com. He ordered some patches for me, and he he's sending me some patches. Armor of God, got a couple AR-15s. Here's another one in a different color, some kind of a cobalt blue. Here's another green one that you won't be able to see. Here's another gray one. Here's an orange one you might be able to see. Armor of God. And he's got this really big thing here with a skull, and they got the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence on it. And it's like overdid right there. We the People, Declaration of Independence. You get the flag and they got something over here on the other side. It looks sort of like a Dixie flag behind a. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a Dixie flag, an American flag, or a. Y'all can see what it is. So,
Uh,
if any of you guys need some patches, check out Carolina or holsters. He's supposed to be sending me a holster to try out. I told him, we're sponsored by Crossbreed, and we support Crossbreed 100%. But I'll
yep.
try a holster, and I'll let you guys know if it's a good holster. I mean, I'm not. But Carolina holsters, he's going to send me out. I think one for a Glock 19 or a Glock 30S, same size holster anyway. But check that out. But if you guys are needing patches, send me your address, Troy at GuyGunsPodcast.com, and your color preference of green, blue, orange, gray, pink, and blue, and gray, and green all together, purple. That's a wild one. And I'll send them out until they're all gone. So you got that as a gift for listening tonight. But you gotta send your address and your phone number and your email address to TroyGuyGunsPodcast.com, and I will get those out in the next week or so. And that's that. All right. Anything else about the Constitution, Doug?
Ron is throwing his address up there for you right now. He wants that armor of God. He already commented on it.
Black one. Okay. I don't know if you want that, dude. I don't know if you want that out there. You might want to take that down. I don't know if you want your address out in the public forum like that. You may have some weirdos show up, like Steve or Jim Rawls. All right, so we'll wrap up the Constitution. We're going to go on to. We'll hide that comments. You had it, Doug? We should hide that.
I can't hide it over there for some reason.
All right, I'm going to take that one down, Ron, because I don't want anybody to come to your house, come knocking. All right, but just send that to my email address. I know you're the first one. All right, so
Ron wants that one bad.
All right, so send me. So if you want to buy patches that look like ours back here, you can do that. And we've got the one that's if you don't have a gun, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one verse. And I usually have one of those laying here. I don't see one. It's again one of those days all day long. Twice on Sunday. All right. I don't know what's going on. I think somebody's been mucking around my desk. All right, so we're going to go on. How else can they help us out? You can go oathkeepers.org. It doesn't really help us out, but it helps Oathkeepers. Lots of action going on. Yeah, you guys, Oathkeepers shirt. I started wearing mine tonight. I thought, I bet you Doug wears his.
I did wear it tonight.
But you can go over and check out their show. Well, you can't go to the Oathkeepers Facebook no more because Facebook killed all of the Oathkeepers state pages and the main page, and Twitter took down Oathkeepers site as well. So, and a lot of people who were administrators over at Oathkeepers Facebook pages lost their whole account. So we're under the banning and prohibiting of other views over on Facebook. I think they need to lose their tax status as a organization that allows free speech, because they are not allowing free speech
at all.
Lots of government subsidies, and they should lose every bit of that and should be taxed for whatever other corporations get taxed at and be fairly treated. Sub MOA shooting, everybody. There's a buddy over there. Wally over there has bullets. If you guys are reloaders like me, use the coupon code God and Guns, and you can find out more about that at submwashooting.com. Ron, yes, there is a new platform. You can go to oathkeepers.org, and they have a rocket chat for active chats for members, and then they have all kinds of information and stuff on their main page. But if you become a member, you get on Rocket Chat and you get to talk to them. They run their own, they host their own database and all that stuff, so nobody can shut you down over there. They have their own platform called something else too. You go ahead and talk about Axelson and Palmetto.
It's I can't remember the name of the.
In America now, I think.
Don't they use Discord? Are they
Uh,
using that one?
InAmericaNow.com is for non-members. It's an Oath Keeper site and chat forum and things like that. So go over to defendamericanow.com and you can sign in there if you're not a member of Oath Keepers, and they will connect you up with other groups in your area so that you guys can all work together.
Jason said he joined up with just joined up with Oath Keepers, so
good deal.
Good on him. We appreciate it, and I know they do too.
Good deal.
So you did sub MOA shooting, so I got Axelson Tactical, so we'll do that one. If you're looking for a precision rifle, bolt guns, semi-automatics, they got custom pistols. They do custom knives. They also have a retail store where you can buy all kinds of different guns. And they have a t-shirt company as well. So you go check those guys out. But if you're looking for a tack driving rifle, the Axelson brand is awesome. You saw mine, you saw Troy's. They're just great guns. So go check our buddies out at AxelsonUSA.com. If you find something you like, which you probably will, use the promo code God and Guns, and they will give you 10% off just for listening to the show. Also, Palmetto State Armory. Hey, Palmetto State's had a few good things coming out here lately. They're getting a little bit of stock back. I know a couple of friends just bought pistol kits, and they were back in the $300 range, low 400.
Really?
For the kit, kind of like Puff that I built, and they actually had some lowers the other day for $49, I think. So you just got to watch, see what they get in. Sometimes they get ammo stuff, sometimes they don't. You just got to be quick. To me, the ammo is expensive wherever you find it, just about. So, just be leery. I just don't want to pay 80 cents a round for it. That's why I thought it was such a good deal when I found that yesterday, and I got as much as they would let me get. But anyway, go check our buddies out at Palmetto State Armory. If you want to put a gun together, you need parts for something, they got pretty much anything you want over if they have it in stock, because people are buying it up just as fast as they can put it out there for them. Yep. But you can click on our affiliate link, go through there, and it doesn't give you a discount for ordering through them, but they do send some money back to us for everything that goes through our site that helps us do what we do. So go check them out at PalmettoStateArmory.com.
Cool deal. Armed Citizen of the Week, Doug. What you got?
Hey, so this week's armed citizen, I have actually two on here. And the first one is from August the 29th in Warren, Michigan. A man with a concealed carry permit defended himself during an incident of road rage, drawing his gun and returning fire at a driver who shot at him. The permit holder was struck in the leg and treated for injuries that weren't life-threatening. It could have been much worse if he had the enraged driver not sped off after realizing the permit holder also was armed. That was on the 29th. On August 31st in Palo, Iowa, homeowner shot and killed an intruder who had attempted to break into several residences after crashing his car into two parked vehicles. Police said the intruder broke the window of a child's bedroom, threw a flower pot through the glass of a front door, entered and threatened residents before the homeowner shot him. And dude, I'm telling you, they had a list. It was like every day, and for 10 days in August, because it was like 10-day breakdown. But just about every day you had somebody with a gun protecting their family or somebody from thugs. They're just going around doing all this nonsense looting and stuff.
It's crazy.
Hey, and I got a question for you. It's my turn to go on a rant for a minute.
Go ahead.
So tell me this. So up in Wisconsin, where Kyle, and I swear I cannot remember that kid's last name. The 17-year-old that had
Yeah,
the AR that was defending
written something, written bomb, written,
Critton, yeah,
written something.
whatever. I can't remember his last name, but
Kyle, we all know you're
Kyle, Kyle, the 17-year-old with the AR. So he is in jail for shooting two people that were attacking him, and the third person that he shot with the AR that he shot in the arm that actually was going to attack him and then pulled a gun and was going to shoot him is out on the street. How is that
Yeah,
possible?
and CNN's interviewing him like he's a victim.
Yeah.
That really just burned me up.
You tell Rittenhouse. There you go. Thanks, Kelly. Rittenhouse. So you tell me how that creep can be out on the street after doing all the stuff he was doing, and he was going to shoot it. He even said it in an interview that his only regret was he didn't get his gun out faster so he could put 17 rounds into Kyle. And I just don't understand. He was the attacker. Kyle was defending himself.
He was running to the police because he was flushed out by all those people.
Yeah. So how is that possible? I don't understand.
Well, when your attorney general got you elected because he's your attorney general got support from George Soros to get you into office, you do what your master tells you to do.
Well, true.
You know,
but it's just it's ridiculous, man.
well, you know, it's the old paying good for evil for good and good for evil, right? That's abomination to the Lord. So you just need to be aware that it might work here on this planet for a little bit, but God's going to have the last word on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it showed that knucklehead at a rally the other day and had his arm in a sling and stuff, and he's holding his hurt arm up, talking about the revolution's going to continue. They're like, dude, the next revolution may not just hit you in the arm.
Yep. Yep. He's a useful idiot. They'll disappear as soon as the real communists come into power. They get rid of being kind of anarchists because they don't want none of that going on when they get in power.
Oh, of course not.
They don't want nobody to try to go after their control structure. I just remember we got a subscribe star account. We had our first donation this week. I can't remember who it was. We had our first donation, $5 thing. I haven't set up the different levels. I've had some people say, "Hey, set up higher amounts and stuff." I'm like, "Cool." So I have to figure out how to do that. But it came with a basic setup. I think it was like $5 a month or something, or $5 an episode, or $5 something. But we'll get that up and going. But you can find us under God and Guns. It was invisible. Tim was telling us, our buddy Tim was telling us that he couldn't find it because they had me in. Like when you first set it up, they have you in like I guess a probationary period to make sure you're not some kind of some criminal enterprise or something trying to steal money. So, has anybody seen Soros in a public event? He may be dead. I don't know, but he's got kids. So, you got your wife over there telling you something?
Yeah, my granddaughter's spinning. She's here with us.
It must mean we need to wrap a show up.
Wendy's watching. She was in there probably watching with her.
Cool deal. All right, we're gonna wrap this puppy up. You got anything else, Doug? Anybody else have any other questions, remarks, snide remarks, criticism? Still looking for his bicep. Yeah. Go ahead. Yep. Keep looking for that bicep. Next time, maybe he'll just help you with that cantaloupe canoe that hit of his or something. All right, so we're going to go wrap this thing up. Send your feedback to Troy at GodandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GodandGunsPodcast.com.
Please tell your friends about us. Like us. Tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review and like us on Facebook for as long as that lasts at Facebook.com/GodandGunsPodcast. Subscribe and follow us on YouTube. And you can find us on Twitter, maybe, for a little while. And Ron's saying we should have a live donation system. I don't know how to. I guess there's a way to do that. I know some people have these things that you can like send stars and all that stuff. That sounds a little too complicated for me. Uh, Maybe you can
Right.
figure it out, Doug. Uh, so yeah, we're on Twitter. We're on Instagram for now, and we're on MeWe. MeWe's over a fail-safe backup. If we disappear, you can find us over there, and we'll try to get some kind of new setup. And our website, if everything else goes south, Doug's going to have us a website one day. Got it, guys.
I've actually been working on it.
Have you, what are you using? What are we using? Are we using Squarespace or what?
Yes.
Okay, because I've got a Squarespace account, so if, through the Farms Radio Network, that's why I use Squarespace over on Farms Radio Network to put our stuff over there. Talking back shop in the middle of the show. Wow, how professional! All right, until next time, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, guys. We'll talk to you later, and thanks for joining in.
Good night, everybody.
And Wendy says, "Make America Great Again."
That's it.
I thought it was "Keep America Great" now. Is it both?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Keeping it great.
keeping it great. Keep America great. All right. Good night, guys. I'm going to shut this puppy down. Thanks for joining us.